Hi everyone, I'm David from Bonadox, and in this video we're going to go through Sablier, and we would experiment with it within a playground to see how to integrate it in a real life application. So Sablier is a token streaming protocol, which is simply a protocol that allows you to send tokens from one account to another. But rather than sending it at once, you are sending it in a stream over a period of time. Right? So in real life situations, that could be very useful for like payroll, or you're a business and you want to deal with like vesting. So if you scroll through here, you'll see vesting like for their quarterly unlocks, assets vest by the second when they are streamed, and guessed it, cliffs are supported too. Meaning that if for instance you want to vest for like 10 weeks and you want the cliff to start at 4 weeks, you add it there and it's vests, right? So you can go through the landing page. Let's quickly get to the code. So in this video we're going to be walking through two main ways to create a stream, which is like the lockup linear, which is very direct, and the lockup dynamic, which allows you to add things like segments, meaning the token flow can increase for a certain period of time or a certain period of token. For a certain amount of token it can flow heavier, and for a certain amount of token it can flow slightly less, or still within the same range. So it might not flow at the same rate. So I'm only focusing on those two because of time, and for context, once you already understand those two, you can go ahead to do things like batch create streams, batch lockup linear, dynamic tranche, also like stream management, which we'll also get to, which is you've created a stream, how do you cancel the stream, how do you renounce the stream? So renouncing is sort of like giving up control for it on chain, meaning you can no longer cancel it and it's permanent on chain. So let's start with creating our playground and adding in our contract address. So I'm going to add in from Ethereum and Arbitrum. So actually let's just create a playground first. So create your project. I'm going to call it Sablier free to use infrastructure. I do the description from the landing page. So next, contract name, we are going to use I'm trying to look for a name that we should use, trying to think about that. I know we have the linear contract, right? So we can always copy this. Right, description is right here. And finally our contracts addresses, and it's also Ethereum, Arbitrum. Ethereum is here. Good. So let's come here. Oh, I think we took in the wrong contracts. We took in dynamic. Taking dynamic contract. Okay. Good. And for the Arbitrum contract, we are going to come here. So copy. Just to make sure. Yeah, linear. So for a second, also we're going to call it dynamic, right? So silver Sablier v2 local dynamic. So let's go to our deployment addresses, copy, okay, that's weird. Okay, good. Ethereum. For Arbitrum. So let's create our playground. So we didn't add one, let's add one more contract. So the next contract we're going to add will be the DAI contract, right? So the DAI contract is the token. So we want to add the DAI token, which is the actual token that, you know, we're actually going to be streaming, right? We actually did not add that. So let's come here. So the DAI token, contract description, let me also copy that from here. And for our network, we're going to add again Ethereum and Arbitrum. So let's copy the address from here. So I've added our DAI token. Okay, asking us to reload. And there we go. So the first thing I want to do here is just be to create a stream, right? Let's quickly just create a stream. So we're going to call it LLS. So the meaning of LLS is from here and the docs, so like lockup linear stream. So that'll be LLS operation. To create stream. Yeah. So now let's create a stream mode. Let me just start with creating. Create a stream. I'll create an LLS stream. So this JavaScript environment that we're writing our actions, because that's what it is, right? It's the JavaScript environment that allows us to run our actions or our stream, because to perform an action like this, first you need to approve the DAI token, transfer it, then actually perform the stream. So what we're going to do is create an LLS stream, right? Which is very, so the first thing, I think we should first define the things we need. So I'll just paste it so we don't have to like go over it again. So well, we can also call it the lock linear stream. So what's happening here, first of all, is that we define our simulator. So our simulator is a simulation engine. You can check it out here. Basically allows you to perform simulations. So we already injected it here. So we have the simulator, the simulation provider that comes with it, which allows you to actually create a real provider, right? So what happens here is that we have ethers injected also. So with the structure, contract, format unit, these are all things that we need, like zero address, big number, and all of that we need to perform the operation. So for our DAI token, because everything's already inside the playground, again, we just destructured out the token address and the ABI for the contract, and same thing here, but under the contract, the Sablier lockup linear, we destructured both things out, right? So here we initiate variables. These are chain ID, our Arbitrum chain ID. Our provider uses the simulation provider that is destructured, wealthy address, recipient address. So wealthy address is the address that we'll be sending from, that will be streaming from our sender, and recipient address is the address that receives the token. So here we also initiated our signer using our provider. So you can see get impersonated signer. Because it's a simulation environment, we don't need you connecting your wallet, just to understand how the contract works. So again, we initialize our Sablier contract, at least the linear contract, which is all we need here, and we initialize the DAI asset contract. So our next step would be to approve and transfer DAI. Right. So to do that, we copy this out here also. So what happens here is first we do pass units to get the actual value for our DAI that will be imputed here. The decimal is 18. So if you want to check the decimal, it's on the read method here, decimals, right? So you get 18 through pass units. That's what we're going to pass to for approval. For approval, we wait. We log this, and then we do the transfer to the address of the linear lockup address, right? Then we have to wait, then we log our transfer finally, right? So what happened here is simply that I approve and transfer of DAI to the actual contract, right? So finally we can then create the stream with Sablier. So I'll also copy that. I'm only copying and pasting this code just so this video doesn't take so long. So create stream with Sablier. What we did here is similar to what we've done before. We say, oh, we're going to stream 100 units of DAI. Let's stream ID try. We have our try catch, right? So we take the method from the Sablier contract. The method we have is stream duration. So we have the wealthy address, which is the sender, the recipient address, the amount to be streamed, the DAI token address itself. This true is coming from here. So what it's asking is that, is this stream cancelable true or is it transferable true? All right. So we have true. This is basically what we have here. This param is durations, which include the cliff period duration. As I mentioned, you need the cliff to know if you want when you want to start streaming from within the period that's going to be streamed. So you have 4 weeks, 52 weeks. In our case, we have 52 weeks here in seconds, and we have a certain amount of seconds here, which is when the stream starts. Can convert this to 2 weeks to know the amount, but this is the amount of seconds, and this is the amount of seconds of like the full length of the stream. So finally, we have like a broker param, which is basically for those that want to ask for fees, like external front ends that want to ask for fees. So if you want to ask for fees, you look at like 0 address. In this case, it would be the fee address, like where the fee goes to, and there is the amount, but also just having this 0n, because we're not collecting fees. This is just a demo. So you have, again, you make the request, you get back your logs, and you log it, right? So here you go. So if you run this, this might take a second to do. So I said we've logged out, the emitted transfer of the token itself, then the stream. So here you have your stream ID, sender, recipient, the amounts, assets, the cancelable, the timestamps, and all of that, as mentioned earlier again. So secondly, we're going to do the dynamic stream. So dynamic stream has something we call segment, right? So with segment, it shows us how to, it increases or decreases the amount of token being streamed per particular period, right? So let's just create that just so everybody's in sync. So what I just did was just paste the code. So again, this is similar to what we just did earlier. So we have the dynamic contract here instead of linear contract. Similarly, we have our variables, signers, initialize our contracts. We also approve and transfer our DAI. All right, let me. So finally, let's create our dynamic stream, right? I'll also be copying the code from here. So what happens here with our dynamic stream? Actually, let me just add this. Is you have the amount that has to be streamed. Here, still, like, you also have the creative durations method under the dynamic contracts, right? So you have similarly true, but in this instance you have segments. So segment again determine the amount of flow you have. So if you look at it in our docs, so it has the amount, the exponents, and the timestamp. So you can see a lookup dynamic stream is composed of multiple segments, which are separate partitions with different streaming amounts and rates. The protocol uses the segments to enable custom streaming curve, which powers exponential streams and cliff streams, right? So we added there. So you have amount, exponent, timestamp, which is what we did. Amount, exponent, and timestamp. And we also have the same things. We have 2 segments, amount, components, and timestamp. And similarly, we have our broker param, as I mentioned before. So here we have, we make the call, we console log it, and we call it. You should take a few seconds, like similar as the first one. But once that works, we are good, right? So those are like two main operations, or the two basic operations we can perform with Sablier protocol. I believe I did not select. That should work. So one thing we can also look at, let's probably come here to check some few things, is, let's go back. It's things like stream management. So you can withdraw from a stream. The recipient can withdraw from the stream, like after the cliff is complete and it hasn't been sent yet to them. They can withdraw manually, or they can withdraw to a third party. You can cancel streams, and can renounce streams. So you might also have to particularize the renouncing of the streams. But in the meantime, I'm back here. We have the emitter transfer, right, as we did, and we have the log for the emitter stream. So you have your stream ID here also. So for a roundup, let's look at renouncing streams. So since it's a single method, that doesn't require multiple methods together, all you can do is to renounce a stream. Let's use an existing stream. So there's this existing stream here with the stream ID. So once you did live stream, and here's the address that is initiating the stream. So we're simulating it because again, we don't connect our wallets because we're not the initiator of the stream in the first place. So we just have to simulate it using the actual owner address. So if you query it from here, you go on to get, say, renounce lockup stream, the event, that this is done. So that way, I think we've gone through the main point regarding streams and regarding creating, canceling, renouncing. So renouncing basically means that you have no more control over it. This stream would go as set while you're creating the stream, right? So with that, we are done with this tutorial on Sablier and using the Bonadog playground. I would add the link to this playground in the description or in the posts on Twitter and description on YouTube, so everybody can always come around, play with it and test it out. Thank you.